Hello gamers, it's SoftKitty99 in Parkitect. In the last episode we took a look here at Mystic Oasis, and today it's time to take a look at Nova Labs. Once the set of a famous sci-fi movie, the production company that owns it has put it up for sale. This alien landscape would make a stellar park that teleports visitors to new worlds. Scenario: have an experiences rating of at least 70%, have at least 500 guests in your park. Optional: have at least 250 guests in your park, which you would do on the way to this goal, and complete all non-optional goals by the end of August year 2. So I did manage to get a gold medal again, yay! So let's take a look at this alien inspired and themed park, which used to be a studio for making alien movies, obviously. And the park itself starts with 3 biggish buildings when you first come into it. The first one being this entry plaza area, including this alien themed greenhouse, which is also where your guests come in from here. So they kind of spawn in this building here, which is right next to these rockets, so it makes it appear that the people coming to your park have been dropped in by these rockets with all the crates here for your deliveries and things. So it kind of feels like they're coming in through a spaceport, which I think is really cool. And then you're greeted at the entrance of this really alien weird landscape. So you're in a desert area and you've got all this brown created earth area, and look at this, you've got different colour themed rocks, which is fine, but then look at this, you've got all these weird alien spikes in red, and these weird alien plants and these pods. Can you imagine an alien growing out of it and popping out of it and coming for you? I can. So I think it's a great actual little entrance area for your park. And then this building like this red inspired building, there's a couple more of these buildings situated inside your park. One of them I've incorporated into a walk through where it's just got a path through it. I haven't used the building for anything more interesting than that, because it's quite small on the interior, because these blocks on the sides actually occupy the whole of the space. There's no space to build anything inside, so you've actually only got space for a single file path through the centre of a building that's 3 wide, so it makes them quite difficult to use unless you make them a lot bigger as buildings. And these alien pods, look, aren't they great? They act as lights, so that's really kind of cool. Alright, so let's turn around so that we're facing the entrance of the park. So this is where they come in. As I say, this building was already pre-built when you start the scenario, along with the alien greenhouse. So if we zoom in a bit to this alien greenhouse, it's a little bit difficult to see inside, but you can see these alien pod lamp things, and then lots of those big red flowers. So this makes a nice kind of centerpiece for the entry to your park. So on one side of it I've built my main street with all of my shops, and on the other side of it I've built a place for people to sit and eat the food, and then they can watch the beautiful greenhouse of the alien design, or they can watch the rides that are around the area. So if I zoom out just a tiny bit, and let's remove the scenery so that you can see the way into the park. So here's your actual entrance to Nova Labs, and they come into this building. I've got an information kiosk right there on the entryway, right inside the beginning of the park. And then the path splits in 2 directions, so you can come this way round the greenhouse, and that drops you at the seating area and some of the rides, or you can go the opposite way, which brings you to the main street with all the shops. And off this side you've got the staff path leading to the goods in area and some of the facilities. And here with the main street shops, I've got the staff room for the staff to come and rest in, and I've also added a depot. I know we're not that far from the main depot here, but it's just so much quicker for them to supply all the shops, and this is my main shopping area, so it's just much easier for them to come here. And I've also dropped in one of the trash chutes just to make the job for the janitors and things a little bit easier. The shops that we've got here, we've got a cash machine just at the end in the main plaza open area. We've got oh no, not snow. Why did I think that's snow cones? Snow cones is purple, isn't it? This one's pink. So this is cotton candy. And then we've got a first aid room, and then we've got the balloons, then the hot dogs, the soft drinks, a vending machine and umbrellas. This one organically grew as we were building the park. We started with, I think we started with burgers, vending machine, and then I had to research to get all the other shops. So I made a bigger building so that I could research more shops and add them later. And then as I started to add the shops, what I did was I would take out the front panel, which was wall, and then add an archway in so that the shops could be added in, and just make it bigger as we go along. I've made the roofs a little bit interesting by adding extra things. First thing I did was add the staff room and then the shop area, and then I added a little bit more space for the trash chutes and things later on as we went along. And coming from this main building's theme of red, I've used red throughout the park to keep the whole thing quite balanced and themed around the same idea. As you can see, I've added in shelter over where we've got the benches so that they're both protected from the sun when it's sunny and the rain when it's rainy. Where are my janitors? Hey, if you're wandering around, you should be emptying these trash bins. Thank you. So that looks a lot better. So let's put up. So we've used this sci-fi theme throughout. So we've got sci-fi bins, sci-fi lamps, sci-fi crates, sci-fi chairs, and then we've used these alien theme things. So we've got the alien flowers and pods throughout. The pods, as I said, act as lights, and the flowers, of course, keep in theme with this. And we've got a few different coloured ones around. We've got a few pink ones, mostly the red ones though, to be honest. And because it's sci-fi themed, we've used a lot of the electronic things. So we've got like these antennas that look a little bit like candy floss, these weird plants that are kind of spiky vines and thorns, the metallic sculpture that looks kind of alien to me, so I've used that. And then we've got the taller alien lamps here, look, everything in keeping with this. And then around we've got things like the antenna dishes and the little like photon torpedo things and the antenna array things all over the park. Look, so there's one of those antenna array things just like on the entrance building there. Popped it by the entrance to the ride. The first ride as you come in here is the Dodgems car. Didn't make every single thing in the park red, but green goes with practically everything because in foliage it goes with every colour. So got a green Dodgems, just add a little bit of a different colour to it. People are going to get bored if all they ever see is red. And all the queues have got these red canopy things on them just to keep them out of the sun because it's very, very bright in this deserty landscape. And things like the Dodgems with the cover on also keep them out of the shade and out of the rain. So it's a double thing, isn't it? It keeps them out of the sun and it keeps them out of the rain. So the Dodgems is a great ride for everybody to be on. And from the area where everyone's sitting to eat their food, you can also see the monorail, the little gentle ride going around the park as we go along. And the next ride along here, we've got a couple of motion simulators. They're showing different movies. The first one, the red one, is showing the first Starfighter, and the second one, the grey one, is showing Star Force. So we had a little bit of variation in what they're showing so that you can decide which movie you'd prefer to see. And then we're back to the shops here, and coming along here you've got the station for the monorail here. We need to just turn a little bit so you can see. We built like a little plaza area here where we've got the cash machine. Just off here we've got a fantasy themed toilet. Let's hide the scenery for you. So we've got two toilets in this little fantasy themed building. Again, I've used the red colours to keep that going. And then this building here, I kept thinking, what can I use it for? And in the end I never thought of a good use for it. Thought we might add some extra shops, but I never needed to because that big building I built at the beginning could fit everything. So it's just used as a walkway at the moment. I'm sure it could be used for something much more interesting than that, but I just didn't get around to doing that. But I like the little fantasy themed thing here for the toilets. So over here we've got the monorail station. Very basic and simple. I've just dropped these canopies like we've got along all of the queues. And we've also got some seating again under these shades right here, just for the sunshade and the rain shade again. And then the monorail here going round. If I zoom out a bit more so you can see the monorail better, So it starts here at this train station, it goes over the top of the motion simulators, does a little curl around this rock formation, and we've got lots of these sort of alien themed trees. These sort of tall trees can be made whatever colour you want, so I've made them in lots of different colours, so we're in an alien theme, so we can go a bit wacky with the colours of things. So I've used all these crazy colours, look, purple mushrooms and things around, radar dish, great big fancy alien flower, those like photon torpedo things, these little alien pods, some of these cases, and an antenna here, and then right, so let's station, right, we come round here with the monorail, past the rocks, past the crazy trees, over the top of the dodgems, round the back here, do a little loop around these fancy crazy trees, and then come past here, past the inverted double swing, wouldn't catch me on one of them either, and then back around here, past the big alien blue flower thing, past the purple sort of fancy blobby tree thing, and back into the station. What are these? Are these poplar trees maybe? I'm not sure. Not quite sure what they're called. What are they called? Can we find what they're actually called in the... What are they actually called? Oh, is this called blobby tree? It's called blobby tree. Oh, there we go then. So we've got a purple blobby tree and a blue blobby tree and an orange blobby tree and a yellow blobby tree and a green blobby tree. That's the closest to a real life tree though. That's a very odd colour for a tree, don't you think? Slightly anyway. But anyways, right, so we've so the scenic little monorail actually does go past quite a lot of the rides that we've got in the park. So if we come back to the station area here, so we've got a fantasy themed toilet block right there. Let's zoom in and show you that better, because it's quite a nice little theme actually. If you haven't tried using it, look, that's quite a nice little theme. It's got some beautiful little windows on it, look. And if we rotate around, I've put the bright red trees, look, next to it to even shield it even more from the prying eyes of the viewers, because people really don't like to see toilets, so we hide them properly. And they love these really steep roofs. They're really quite nice. I'd like to think of something else to use to build with those, but I'm not quite sure what. And then we've added some signboards all around the park just to help make sure people don't get lost. And if you go through the path down here, this brings you to the Gravitron, and we've used some more of these sort of alien science-y themed crates and things along here. We've got that sculpture again in a slightly different colour this way, and then round the back here, oh gosh, why are my janitors not getting all these bins emptied? Come on guys, get on with the job. Do I need more of you? Maybe maybe two of them isn't enough for the size of the park. And then there's this like candy cane antenna thing again. I just think that looks a bit like a candy floss, don't you? Because it's kind of pink and it's all spiraling. Maybe it's just me. It's just me, isn't it? It's just me. And then past the Gravitron here, we have a coaster, and it's a spinning coaster. See that? Whee! Spinny coaster. That's the Jolly Spinner. I'm pretty sure that that's a pre-built design, but we can follow it around. Here we go. I'll zoom in just a tiny bit maybe. So up the lift hill. It's a nice curved lift hill. I'm pretty sure this is one of the pre-made blueprints, because in a lot of the scenarios I just didn't spend the time trying to build my own. I've just used the pre-builts in a lot of cases. Right, also this one spins right from the very beginning. There's none of this like the spinning mice things where you go around a bit first and then it unlocks the spinning. With this one it just starts right at the beginning. They've got block brakes in order to slow it down so you can get extra riders on by adding extra little cars on your train, especially on one of these spinning things when you can only get 4 people in a car. You definitely want more than one. Oops, I lost my follow. Oh no, it's going back to the beginning. Oh, never mind, let's follow from the beginning and let's not lose the follow. Let's make sure we follow this time. Right, so starts spinning immediately. It drops down from that lift hill and then it curls around quite a lot. You want these spinning coasters to have quite a lot of turns, and the sharper the turn, the more spin you tend to get out of them. So this one actually doesn't spin that much for a spinning coaster. It kind of feels more like a family spinning coaster because you've not got too much spinning, so that kids aren't going to feel really ill after it. That's why I quite like things like the spinning mice, because they've got lots of sharp turns, so you get a lot of spin on them, but they're also a lot less comfortable because of all the sharp turns on the corners. It makes them a little bit harder to ride. So think about what you're going to be getting on depending on who you've got in your party. And I've made the tracks on this one blue, and I've added lots of blue themed trees around it here. So we've got those blobby trees again, and then we've got the small fir cone again in blue, and then in different shades of blue. So I had a bit of fun playing around with the different colours on this one. So that was actually quite a lot of fun, that, with playing around with different colours, because with this colour scheme you can get away with making them any colour you want. So I used a lot of the blue stuff on that one. I found that a lot of fun. So that's the end of that section there, look. So if we come backtrack back through our building right here, next to our fantasy toilets and our monorail station here, if we come next door to our building here, opposite our monorail, we have a top spin. And again, we've got all the queue area covered in these pavilions to keep both the sun and rain off you. So let's watch the top spin do a bit of a cycle. See, starts off fairly calm, up you go, and then it goes crazy, upside down, whee! Don't get on this ride if you've just had a snow cone and a hamburger and a slice of pizza and a soft drink, because it'll all come back up. Don't forget your motion sickness tablets before you ride. And right next to this we've got one of those big radar dishes for a bit of interesting scenery. And I've got these little mushrooms. I made them purple. I kind of like that, purple and blue mushrooms. I love that idea. Purple trees. I love to having fun with these blobby trees in lots of different colours. Quite a lot of fun. Look at this. Add on all this sci-fi decor around. Quite like that idea. I might have to try and build an actual park of my own design using some of this sci-fi a bit and just go nuts. I think that could be a lot of fun. Right, so if we zoom out a bit here, we have a train, I tell you, it's a train. Now, where is, can I find the rat trap? Yes, so I'm pretty sure that that is one of the pre-builts. Ah, powered coaster. Powered coaster. There you go, rat trap. But again, built without the scenery. So that's the powered coaster, the rat trap, which is the model, a pre-built model. And I've made it all red, and then I used the blobby trees again for some decoration. Look at that, red and white and blue and orange. Yeah, you can see I had a lot of fun with all the colours, can't you? So yeah, this is one of the pre-builts again. It's quite a compact design again, which I really like in some of these parks, because I'm always wondering how much space we're going to need for building. And then right next to the powered coaster we have the Star Shape, and that's one of those arm based machines that tips you up and spins you at the same time. So this arm tips and then the seats spin around at the same time, so it's quite an intense ride, as is this and this here, the swing, the inverted double swing. Again, that's really intense as a ride theme. So we've got quite a lot of intense rides in this park. And then if you go past the double swing, right next to here we've got yet another coaster, and that again is a powered coaster. This one is the Blue Surge. So if we look in the thing, or is it a steel coaster this time? It might be a steel coaster actually. Yeah, it's a steel coaster, the Blue Surge. So basically I've used all three of the different all three of the coasters that I've got in this scenario. So this one's a steel coaster, I've used the powered coaster and a spinning coaster, so I've used all the different types of coaster that's available in the game. So this one I've made blue, in keeping with its name, and look, we've got some pink trees in here this time. So again, I've had fun playing with the things. And then again, this is one of the pre-built buildings that came with the scenario, but I didn't quite expand to to get to that. We were lucky we didn't need to. So by adding the 3 coasters, 1, 2, 3, and added some of these intense rides in here, look. So we've got an intense ride here, crazy intense ride here. See, the arm goes up and down and the seats spin around as well. So it's a very intense ride. And then the double swing, that tips you completely upside down, look. So that's quite an intense ride again. So with the 3 coasters and 3 really intense rides, we've actually managed to push the numbers up quite fast and quite far. And that is my park for this scenario. So let's zoom out so you can see the whole thing. So there you go, 1, 2, 3 coasters, 1, 2, 3 crazy extreme rides, and a couple, 3 less extreme rides, and then the gentle meandering transport ride. And that was enough to tip us over to get the scenario completed in Nova Labs. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. From Soft Kitty 99, goodbye and happy gaming!